What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcasts. Live your best life. You must live label free. I'm very excited. We have a very cool guest, a little different, a little bit off the cuff. He is from Philadelphia. He was sentenced to a life in prison under the Armed Career Criminal Law. The DOJ released him from federal prison to work a terrorism case, and he kept working cases with the FBI and the Secret Service until he ended that career as the top paid CEO in Philadelphia. Please welcome Johnny Kuempel. Johnny, thank you for being here today. You have a very, very interesting story. Can you introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Sure. My name is Johnny Kuempel. As she just said, I was armed career criminal, sentenced to do life in prison. But because of my knowledge of Islam, because of my associating with certain individuals in Philadelphia in that world, I was able to find out about a terrorism plot to blow up the building in Philadelphia. So the Department of Justice let me out of prison to work that plot. It was originally on a 30-day pass, but that plot opened up other plots, and I ended up working from them from 2005 until 2014 or 15. Which agents still tell me today that's so unheard of.
Yeah.
That you work for us for that long.
Yeah, for almost 10 years.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's not very often that I sit down with someone that has had a lot of criminal history in their past. So when did you start your career or your criminal career?
Oh, very early. I was born in Chicago.
Oh, you were born here.
Yeah, my mother still lives on the South Side. And but it was on that South Side that my family experienced a lot of death on the 9. And so my mother, to make a better life for me and my brothers, sent us to Philadelphia to live with my father. He was a Pentecostal minister, so I guess she was thinking he could straighten us out. But Philadelphia was just as bad as Chicago. And my criminal life started early. I could play basketball pretty well, so that was going to be my out.
Yeah.
But I had older brothers, and while I'm playing basketball, they're pulling up in, this is the 80s, so 1988 Fieros and stuff.
Oh, yeah, so you're probably like, whoa.
Yeah, so, and my brother, to his credit, tried to keep me out of the game. But before you know it, I was robbing the banks and check cashing places and anything you could just possibly think of, including robbing drug dealers we used to do, because I couldn't stand drug dealers for a while. But that got kind of heated when, drug dealers shoot back.
Oh, well, yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
So that kind of heated, so we graduated to banks, and then when I came home, like I said, I was working in federal terrorism for a long time, and things were going well until I had to take a family member to Philadelphia. And while I was taking that family member to Philadelphia, that family member's family approached me about a hit for hire, because that the streets was a part of my life, so I did have that rep. And the long story short, that was the beginning of the end with my relationship with the federal government, because I didn't want to work that case. I knew them.
Sure.
Where it's different from I'm fighting terrorism. These people are trying to blow up the country. Now you're asking me to do something against somebody I know. But once you in bed with the feds, you're in bed with them. So they got a way of, getting stuff out of it.
I hate to use this terminology, but once you're in with the gang, you're in with the gang.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's why I don't think so. I'm not willing to. I don't want to play that game.
Yes.
Well, I don't want to make a long story short, because we still have some time. We gotta talk to the audience here and tell them a little bit more about your history. So, how old were you when you did your first bank robbery?
14.
You're 14.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, that was not a bank though. That was a restaurant. But then very soon after that, we graduated to check cashing places and banks. But that was actually a restaurant. Me and my brother, we hid in the drop ceiling, and when the restaurant closed, we dropped down on the manager. Give me the loot! Give me the loot!
Oh my God! I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. You're very young to be doing that. I can't even imagine.
We didn't hurt nobody, no one, but we got the loot though.
So did you get caught for that first one?
No, didn't get caught for quite a few of them. The first one I got caught for was actually, I was in a stolen car, taking it back to the Bronx, New York, which I also used to live, to a chop shop up there. And the police got behind us, started chasing me and this girl. We went under a truck, the roof went halfway off. I'm fine, not a scratch on me.
Yeah.
So I pop out. My theme music comes on, $6 Million Man. I start running. She got broken ribs and stuff,
No.
she ended up telling on me. And when she told, she knew she was my girlfriend at the time, so she knew about the banks and all of that. And she sung like Diana Ross.
Oh, wow.
And that was the first time that we got caught. And that was my first time.
Did that make you salty?
At her, yes, I was for a long time. But then she told me that the reason she told was because my father told her to tell, because my father was scared. He's also was a Allentown, Pennsylvania police officer.
Oh.
And so he had his ear to the, and they were telling my dad that they're going to shoot me when they catch me.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so it was quite an experience. So I was mad at her at first, but then when she told me, my father told her to tell, I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But then it turned out to be true. My father finally admitted the truth. He was like, he was scared for my life.
Well, yeah. I mean, as a parent, I can't even imagine. I mean, first of all, I can't imagine doing any type, like having the idea of doing any kind of robberies at all. Like, that's not something that I'd really want to do because I'd be scared to get caught.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. And, you know, this was back in the 80s where the social media was not where it is today.
Yeah.
Now you could be robbing and people come out with the back pocket. Gotcha, there he goes. And the police, you know, it's way different today. I wouldn't even... I don't advise, or I wouldn't partake in those activities at all no more.
Well, I would hope not. Especially
no,
after
I'm trying to do the positive thing. Use my story to make a change.
That's good. That's great, and we're gonna get back into that right after these words from our sponsor. What is good, everyone? This is your host Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Ho ho ho, ladies! The holidays came early, not only for you but for your man here at Manscaped, the leading men's hygiene brand. Manscaped just launched new products that your man will actually use, including their all-new Ultra Premium Body Wash and a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Also, this awesome refined cologne. It smells so sexy. My man loves it. I love him wearing it, especially after he's all clean shaven, using the Lawnmower 4.0 and trimming those nasty nose hairs and those ear hairs. You know what I'm saying, ladies? It's time to give the man in your life the gift of beautiful skin, hair, and balls this holiday season. Go to manscaped.com and use the code LABELFREE20 for 20% off and free shipping. That's right, ladies, 20% off and free shipping with the code LABELFREE20 at manscaped.com. Hey guys, Deanna here with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. I'm here with Johnny Kuempel, listening to his story as he was a career criminal, worked for the FBI and Secret Service with some terrorism cases. Johnny, so before we went to a break, you were telling us how you were robbing banks as a teenager, and your girlfriend, she squealed on you.
Yes.
Because your father was worried that you were going to be
killed. Yes. They killed. At this time, I could already say that they had already shot at my brother several times. He just didn't get shot yet. Wow. Talk about law enforcement. So I was the youngest, so he was very scared for me. So I forgave everybody for all the telling.
So before we get into the story of going your life sentence in prison, how many banks or how many robberies did you do in your career?
Ooh. You can't count them on two hands. Let's just say that. We'll put it this way: when I got arrested by the feds, because it was a big bank chase, and when they arrested me for their bank robbery, I actually got caught. But it was a big bank chase.
Okay.
So they said that they were already watched. They already knew that I had something to do with 8 banks.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
8 banks. This is like a movie. I swear to God. We're gonna hold on. There might be something there. But that's a lot. And so were you? So then you were armed every time you did a robbery.
Yes. It was sometimes. I've done some by myself. I've done some with some family from South Philly. I've done some with some friends from New York as well.
And what motivated you to rob banks? What were you looking to achieve?
Money, status. I was tired of being in the hood and in the ghetto. Like, I wanted out at that time. It was clear that basketball wasn't going to do it. And like I said, my father did his best. We always had food on the table and stuff like that. But we, stuff like designer clothes and let alone a pair of Jordans. Forget about that. I better wear these $5 Bobo supermarket shoes, And that was a lot of motivation. And then everybody knows, to get the girl, you gotta have what? money in the flash.
Yeah.
So that was all my thing back then.
And how old were you when you finally were arrested and were sentenced to life in prison?
I was, let me see, in 2000, I was 35 when my PSI came back to life for armed career criminal. I was 35, but however, when I first got certified, I was 17 off of the first one, and I went to Graterford State.
Certified? What do you mean certified?
That's when you're young, but they put you in an adult prison.
Oh, I got you. Oh.
Because of your crimes and everything.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, but luckily when they put me in Graterford State Prison, there was a guy by the name of Amin Abdul-Jabbar. He used to be a bodyguard for Honor Elijah Muhammad, and he was also a boxing trainer. He trained Bernard Hopkins, who I met in person, who was the the middleweight champion of the world for a while. And through him, I learned how to read and write Arabic with Imam Shamsuddin Ali. And so, you know, in the Muslim faith, you have to know what you're reading.
Right.
So a lot of people don't take the time to, but because of my tutelage up under them, I learned how to read and write Arabic.
That's quite a useful tool. He gave you a gift.
Yeah, yo hablo español too. Like if I'm interested in it, not to sabe, you already know I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get what I put my mind to. Bien, ¿y tú?
Ah, sí. I know, like that's about the extent of it for me.
Oh.
my fiance actually speaks 5 languages, so like, yeah, he tests me all the time. I'm just like, okay, slow down. But I would actually, I don't know if I have the patience, but I think that learning to read and write Arabic and understand it would be a really great, useful tool. Well, let's talk about that. Let's get into that story. So you were in prison.
Yeah,
you were
so
just going to be serving a life sentence.
Yeah, so without getting into any specifics, but yeah, through my cooperation through the federal government, I learned about a terrorism plot to blow up the Philadelphia, and I can talk about this because it's common knowledge.
Right.
Agents in New York was like, "Hey, we heard what you did for the building in Philadelphia. Thank you." So this plot is common knowledge. Why I wasn't put on the news and all of that at the time, because this person discovered this plot, is because that plot was part of something bigger.
Bigger, right?
Yeah, so that's
there
what
usually
kept
is.
going. Yeah, and
Hold on. That's a little scary to be involved in something like that, and knowing that you're overhearing a terrorism plot. Because that's pretty scary. Because those people kind of like that chain of command runs deep.
Yeah, and it ran deep pretty fast. Put it this way, I was part of a case where, and you know, the agents used to say this all the time, and it is true knowledge. President Bush was the Bush at the time. He was getting briefed on our operation daily.
Wow.
Yes.
That's intense.
Out of the Philadelphia Squad 6 office.
Wow. So God had a plan for you. He had a plan for you. He said, okay, you are going to run wild. You're going to be this criminal, but then I'm going to give you a gift so it's going to save your life and get your life on a new direction.
Yes.
So,
and that's very interesting because it was because of my street life and my street cred that allowed me to be so successful when I became a terrorism reformer for the government.
So how
because
many
Muslims don't play?
Oh no, see, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
You know, I'd be, you know, I think you're very brave to be wanting to tell your story.
Well, there was one plot where they wanted me to send me overseas to Yemen, and I just had to. I was like, please, fighting terrorism in my country is one thing.
Right.
You want to send me somewhere where I don't know the streets and don't know how to move? I was like, not gonna be able to do it. Can you do it? Not gonna be able to do that one.
Oh my gosh! So your story is like a movie. So what is your plans with everything that you've been through in your life? And you're good now, right? Your life is good.
Oh yeah, I actually work with the governor now. I mean, I'm vaccinated. Everything's good. I haven't been in trouble since they let me out of jail in 2005 on a 30-day pass.
Yeah.
I never went back. I haven't been back.
Good.
And I worked for them for 10 years, but then when that fell sour, I got regular jobs. But now with, living in Chicago, and I got family in New York, family in the Bronx, New York, and in Philly, and just this youth, and, it's like we're killing ourselves for no reason. It's like when they don't have nothing to do, to take them away from that, the positive images that they look up at is all in the street life and, in the drill life and stuff like that. So I just want to use my life because, whatever they're doing, I've been through it.
Yeah.
I've been through it, sticking up drug dealers on the corner and all of that. but I just want to, build the Youth Opportunity Development Center to show them there's a different way. And I believe I could do this because my career with the feds came to an end, like I said, when a family member asked me to do a hit for hire. Long story short, me and the feds went back and forth with that, and it ended our relationship with them. Now, at the time, there was a young woman reporter. She was young at that time. Her name is Kitty Caparella. She wrote stories about the Philadelphia mob and true crime stories, and she was actually doing a book on me, and then we were going to fly to California because someone was interested in doing a TV series. And at the time, there actually was, I think it was called The Cell or something like that, about an informant who was in jail. But my life, it was actually real life.
Wow.
Like I was actually going to be sentenced to life in prison in 2005 for an armed career criminal. And the Department of Justice let me out of jail to work terrorism. And I've been here ever since. I've worked a few successful cases. And I just want to use, if I could generate enough publicity from that story, because someone was interested in it before.
Yes.
This is my goal, to get the Youth Opportunity Development Center. I want to get some, everybody can say a rhyme if you ask them.
Sure.
But, how many of us know how to write music? How many of us know how to code? I want to get back to working with your hands.
Yeah.
And, and a lot of us...
That's what you want to do in your youth opportunity center.
Yes.
You want to teach them the skills that's going to keep them off the street.
Yes.
And not get involved in crime.
And when they're suffering, like I watch some of your podcasts, and you have wellness life coaches on there and stuff like that. And these is stuff I want to incorporate into the Youth Development Center. It's like your girl Corinda Deanna said. Yes. Take aim.
Yes. That's
when
right.
life gives you lemons,
Yeah.
Take aim. You don't have to make lemonade all the time.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome.
Yes.
So before we wrap things up and say goodbye, Johnny, by the way, thank you so much for sharing your story. If anybody out there knows someone that would be interested in sharing his story, creating a movie, helping him write a book, something, please reach out to him. Where can people find you?
You could find me, you could email me at j.artez828@gmail.com or on Twitter at Johnny Culpepper, CULPEPPE, the number 8.
Okay, and I will put those links, the links and the email handle in the show notes. I like to ask my guests for any last words of wisdom or advice they'd like to leave with the audience before we say goodbye.
Sure. Okay, how about this? It's just my lifestyle. It's not the mistakes you make or the chances you take, because everybody has to fail in order to succeed. Without failure, there will be no success. You just need to apply what you know and grow. Sometimes process is a slow process, but focus, determination will get you there.
Love it. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, follow, all those good things, and I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.